Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, 15th May 2020. Year 2 Maths, measure length in meters. So it's M4 meters. Right. How many centimeters are there in 1 meter? Tell your grown-up or tell your brother or sister who are helping you. That's right, 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Yesterday, we were looking at measuring in centimeters and we were using a ruler to measure the items on there. Right, today we are measuring in meters, so we can measure the length or height of larger objects in meters, and we write M for meters. So for example, the height of this girl, when we measure it and we write that the girl is 1 meter and 20 centimeters tall. Now this is a tape measure. There's two different types there. That's a trundle wheel and a meter stick. We can use these equipment to measure tall or long objects. Pause the video here. Make sure you have your workbook, a pencil, and a tape measure or a meter stick. If you don't have a tape measure or meter stick, don't worry about it. Please download the worksheet from class charts or email. Write the short date at the top of the page, 15.5.20. Write the LI to measure length in meters. Once you have finished your work, please send a photo of your work at year2@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Right, let's recap the language for length. Please repeat after me. Short, tall, equal, longer, longest, shortest, measure, tallest, shorter, distance. Let's go through the key vocabulary for today's lesson. Measure, meter, height, length, high, tall, wide, long, estimate. So another word for estimate is your guessing. Pause the video here and please make sure you have downloaded the worksheet from class charts or email that we have sent you, as the video is going to ask you to complete some questions. This is what the worksheet looks like. Now I have crossed out classroom here and written house. Now it's also saying use a meter ruler or to measure the objects. If you don't have a meter ruler or a tape measure, please don't worry about it. On question 4 here, it says measure the longer side of your classroom. I've just crossed that out. I have put bedroom. If you want to use another part of your house, for example, living room, you can do that as well.
Measuring in meters today, but first our flashback for a couple of fractions questions at the top. For that first one, I'd get 16 somethings. People seem to be like using pieces of pasta at the moment, so maybe 16 pieces of pasta, and you're looking for 3/4 of those. And then a fractions question second, what fraction is shaded? It looks like all of it is shaded to me. I wonder what fraction would show all of it is shaded. And then a shape question and a missing number question. Now there's a couple of ways to do the missing number question. I wonder which way you will choose, and I wonder if you can work out both ways you could do this question. And don't forget the clock. Pause the video now to have a go at flashback 4. Okay, how did you get on with that? So did you get 16 pieces of pasta? And then did you split them into 4 equal parts? And did you then collect 3 of those equal parts and count up how many pieces you had? Or did you make groups of 4 and then just collect 3 out of the 4 in each group? Whichever whichever way you did it, hopefully you ended up with 12. What fraction is shaded? We can see that all of it is shaded, but all of it isn't a fraction. The square has been split into 4 equal parts, quarters, and all 4 are shaded. So 4 quarters is the answer. How many edges does the next shape have? We need to follow the pattern. Pentagonal prism, hexagonal prism, cube, pentagonal prism, hexagonal prism, cube. So it will be a pentagonal prism next, which has 5 edges at the top that we can see. And so it will have 5 edges at the bottom. And then it will have 5 edges connecting the top to the bottom. 5 and 5 and 5 is 15. The missing number. 100 subtract something is 37. I know when I do subtraction that I can swap that missing number and the 37 to do 100 subtract 37 will give me the missing number. However, it's quite a tricky subtraction to do. So maybe I should count on from 37 or find the pair that goes with 37 to make 100. I know I need a 0 in the ones place. So 7 add 3 will give me 10, which gives me a 0 in the ones place. And then I will have the 3 tens I've already got, and that extra 10 I've just made using the ones, which is 4 tens. And so I know I need 6 more tens to get me up to 10 tens. So the number I'm looking for is 63. Measuring length then, in meters this time. Whitney has had a delivery. Once the box has been cleaned, she decides to make a guessing game. She asks, can you guess which is the heavier box? Good grammar, Whitney. We say heavier because there are 2 boxes. If there were more than 2 boxes, we'd say heaviest box. Can you guess which is the heavier box? I think it is the bigger box because using my prior knowledge, bigger things are usually heavier. What do you think? Well, Whitney has been very clever. She has tricked everyone. She's put something very heavy into the little box and left the bigger box empty. We've been estimating, haven't we? We are estimating how heavy the boxes are. And when we estimate, we think about what we already know. Whitney's dad now asks her to do a bit of estimating of her own. He says, Whitney, do you estimate your box is wider than a metre? Whitney doesn't think it is wider than a metre. But how can she check? She hasn't got a metre stick, so she makes one out of a tube that was delivered recently. She uses what she learnt yesterday and measures 100 centimetres and then cuts the tube off. I've labelled her tube 100 centimetres. I could have written 100 centimetres, but also I could have written 100 cm, because that is the short version of centimetres. Actually, I could have written something else, because 100 centimetres is equal to 1 metre. Okay, time for you to do a bit of estimating. With her 1 metre stick, she now asks, can you estimate, is the box taller than 1 metre? So can you? And then pause the video here to have a go at questions 1 and 2. Whitney now wants to measure bigger things, like the building she's in. So she takes her metre stick, starting at the side of her house, and moves it along. 1 metre, 2 metres, 3 metres. Whitney says it measured more than than 2 metres, but less than 3 metres? Let's have a look. Oh yes, it's past the end of the house. What do we do now then? Luckily, Whitney's meter stick has got 10 centimetre segments drawn on it. So we know it was 2 metres, and then we can count 2 metres and 10 centimetres, 2 metres 20 centimetres, 2 metres 30 centimetres, 2 metres 40 centimetres, 2 metres 50 centimetres, 2 metres 60 centimetres, 2 metres 70 centimetres. Good measuring, Whitney. I wonder how long the side of your house is. Pause here. Have a go at questions 3, 4 and 5.
Right, let's remind ourselves 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Once you have finished your work, please send a photo of your work at year2@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Thank you. Bye.